weak process. Your ankles are actually going to feel like, it's the lock of my ankles that hold him. It's not what you want. You want to lock your legs, and then I have my quads that hold him. And now, yeah, you can bring him forward. Look at his knees almost come off the mat. If I just use my knees, the same method, yeah, he doesn't come forward. But if I use my quads, see, it brings him forward almost with his knees off the mat. So we need to use our legs well. That's important. And I oftentimes hear people say, use your legs, use your legs, use your legs. But they don't talk about is how you use your legs. It's important. These babies, well, mine aren't necessarily the strongest, but in general, the legs are strong, so use them well. I want the inside of the quad, not the knee line, the inside of the quad to pinch in on the floaters, and then we bring the knees in and up, and that will draw your training partner forward over your head. They won't go over your head, but that's where you're taking them. You're not bringing them into your chest. You're taking them over your head like a tomonagi, but they won't end up going there because they're locked in your legs. It's not, I don't want to bring him here. I want to bring him forward excessively, and the result of a resisting opponent or training partner will be a happy medium. Okay, let's dive into some pummeling. We have some many different scenarios that we can create to actually get to the inside, which is what we're going to want for the purpose of what we're doing today, and combating some common problems. The first one that we're going to talk about, I love to teach this one because it's a common way to open the guard. It's not so much pummeling, it's how to use our legs and combat elbows. So it's sort of unfair that I might call this pummeling because it's not. And there are a few on here that might maybe a stretch to call pummeling, but it is getting the arms to where I want them to be, which is around my waist. So there are, I'm sure many of you have trained with people that use their hands and dig their elbows onto the inside of the thighs. This is a position that I really like to dispel. Now there are two relative levels to where Kyle can be. One is an early position where he's got the hands on the hips or the belt if it's a gi, and the elbows are just starting to tuck in. What we need to do if we're going to beat this position is I'm going to get both of my palms to where his elbows are in the middle of my palms if I can. And our fingers are going to go and grab the bone of where the radius and all meet the humerus. What we're going to do is we're going to pry his elbows out. But that's not so easy, especially if he's Herculean like Kyle is. So when we want to pry this elbow out, we're going to create a shake. Okay? We're going to start shaking or pumping my legs. And as I shake or pump my legs, what's going to happen is it's going to attack the small stabilizers of the shoulder and the small stabilizers of the lat, and it's going to be exceptionally hard for anyone to keep their elbows pinned into your thigh. This is an early approach. His elbows just go in. I'm able to get the elbows, shake, 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 and once the elbows are outside of my thighs, we then use the legs like we have just talked about. I use the quad squeeze at the underneath the floaters. I bring his head over the top of mine, and I continue to pull his elbows out and wide until the hands make it to the floor. Once the hands make it to the floor, now I'm coming back up and I'm going to go head control, and I'm going to start to angle off the ground, and this is when we can start going into our subsequent attacks, whether it is our Williams guard or whether it's an overhook or whether it's clamp guard. Okay, we have all this scenario. So we'll look again at elbows are inside my legs and they just get there. So I have the wherewithal to see him, I have the wherewithal to get underneath the elbows, and then we're going to shake, 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 shake. The elbows come out, I squeeze the quads, and we don't bring him into our chest, bring him over our head. The result will be he will fall into my chest. Once he's here, we've now made our angle off the floor, and we can start looking to overwrap our leg, overhook his arm, or go into clamp guard scenarios with our elbow and far knee. Second one, because there are I mentioned there are two stages to this. So the second stage is you have a guy that's dug in. You waited quite a while.